Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our first 10-minute training of the new year. I'm Dr. Rob Vanbergen, and in this training, I want to talk about our newest device, the Avazzia Life Genesis II. Now, you've probably heard us talking about this over the last few months, but the Avazzia Life Genesis II has almost completely replaced the Avazzia Life Genesis, which soon will no longer be available. This was the Avazzia Life Genesis here, and this is the Genesis 2. So you can see there's some substantial differences visually between them. However, the actual features within them are fairly similar. And I'm going to talk a little bit in this video about what those differences are, the differences between the kits, and why we did this when we created this device. Now, I would say to start with that one of the things we've wanted to be able to do for the longest time is to bring a feature like vagus nerve stimulation to everyone. And this is where the original Genesis device has always fallen short, right? This was a really good device for people looking to work on scar tissue or to just clear areas of inflammation, like you have a sore shoulder. But for everyone that could benefit from vagus nerve stimulation, which if you've been watching my videos for a while, you probably know is pretty much everyone, they found themselves looking at the more expensive Avazzia Life Evolution device, or even the Pinnacle. And I was constantly looking at the Genesis and thinking, how can we get this out there? This is the most affordable device we have. And when it came down to doing webinars, partners didn't even want to talk about it if it didn't have vagus nerve stimulation. Even when I did patient consultations, I was looking for a few issues that a person would have. And if anything went beyond just scar tissue or a basic injury, it was automatically Genesis is wiped out. So the limitations of the original Genesis led to the creation of this, but the barriers of putting the Genesis 2 together and getting access to these features were numerous. And this mostly involved the FDA. Now, when you're in the medical device space, you are constantly interacting with regulatory agencies around the world. And getting something like a neurofeedback frequency into a class of device considered over the counter was really just a massive and expensive challenge. We looked at a numerous different ways that we could potentially do this, but in the end, creating a new device was the simplest path forward, because new is something that they look at differently than a revision. So fast forward to where we are today, where our prices of our devices actually had increased last year, and the need for this device had skyrocketed even more because honestly, I knew that we were missing out on helping people because they simply couldn't get the vagus nerve stimulation that they need. Now, the Genesis 2 now at this point has been almost completely released. In fact, it is released and approved everywhere that our devices are approved. So Australia, Europe, Canada, the US. And in fact, most everyone who has ordered one has received theirs already, with the backlog being cleared, I believe, tomorrow, and us being up to date on this. So this device is now becoming more and more mainstream as it goes. Now, when we created this device, we kind of had to look at what we could lose. The device here, the Genesis and the Genesis 2, are four-mode devices. So even though they contain hundreds of frequencies within them, there are four specific programs in them. And we had to look at what we could lose to add the frequency we needed for vagus nerve stimulation. So in order to do this, we were looking at essentially removing the original Sana cycle, which was the automatic treatment mode that people didn't really use that much anyway, and replace that with the 7 to 12 hertz program. So if you watch any of our previous trainings, you'll see me mention this program and this frequency all the time. Why is that the case? Well, the alpha frequency range of 7 to 12 hertz can be used for so many things. We do use it for vagus nerve stimulation, probably the most common, but we also use it for grounding, which reduces the chaotic energy of the body down and essentially resets the body to an earth level frequency. We use it in neurofeedback techniques like the alpha ear clips program, which can help with sleep as well as with stress and anxiety. And we also know that this frequency gap is what we see repairing bone, ligaments, and tendons as it works within these proven frequency ranges and the relaxation of muscles as well. So, universally, this has become one of those programs that is used by everyone for everything, and almost everyone is going to benefit. In fact, not almost. Everyone is going to benefit from 7 to 12 hertz. So, if I had to pick one program to be an advice, it would probably be this, with the only caveat being that you need to clear scar tissue. So with this device, we've created a machine that has this new program, 7 to 12 hertz. It has the ability to clear scars and work on soft tissue. It has an anti-inflammatory mode for those localized treatments, and it has a stimulation mode that enables it to essentially increase the circulation, build up the ATP of the body, recharge the body, but also do some regeneration and anti-inflammatory at the same time. So there's a lot of functionalities packed into this little device. So we're able to do all sorts of things with this machine now, from addressing chronic pain, working on autoimmunes, reducing inflammation, stimulation of the vagus nerve, obviously, grounding, mitochondrial recharge, sleep enhancement, stress reduction, and so on and so forth. This device can do all of these things. And again, at our base price. This means that every single device that we now offer in the pain management line, so excluding the cosmetic easy lift devices, can handle vagus nerve, autoimmunes, and beyond. So this is truly changing the face of what we've been doing, and it felt like it was a good opportunity to discuss this at the beginning of the year. Now, the Genesis 2 starts at the price of 995 USD, and that is for the classic kit. Now, your classic kit contains essentially the device, this little zipper pouch here, which the device can sit in, a pack of pads, and the wire required to run them. On a base level, for someone that already has attachments for the other devices like a Y probe, this is going to work just fine. You don't need to pay more money for those attachments again. But most people that are new to the device are probably going to be looking at the deluxe kit. Now, the deluxe kit comes in this bigger case, and the only thing it doesn't have of what I just mentioned from the classic is it doesn't have the pouch itself. It just has the bigger case. But in here, we actually have so many different accessories. We have a face probe. We have all of the wires required in here as well. We've included ear clips, which are for that neurofeedback work with the stress reduction, sleep enhancement. We've included the mitochondrial recharge kit, the gloves and the socks used for grounding, a tongue stimulator used for oral and dental work. Keep an eye on that upcoming dental lab. I know we've had a lot of people asking about that. The pencil electrode, which is used for essentially using acupuncture points, and the most commonly used Y electrode. So the device that's used most commonly in almost all treatments. So there are lots of things included in this kit, of course, with the Genesis 2 device as well. And this comes in at about $14.95. Now, all said and done with the effects of the actual costs of the individual attachments, it's definitely a steal. But if you're looking at a budgetary option to get involved with the microcurrent world, starting with the Genesis 2, going with a classic kit, and probably just adding at least a Y electrode is going to go a long way, because the Y electrode truly, like if you've never used one before, you might be okay. But when you're trying to do these treatments, if you've never used one and then you start using it, you're going to be like, oh my goodness, this is the thing that opens this up. So if you've been on the fence about microcurrent, if it's been a cost prohibited event to get involved, if it's been something that you've just been looking at and thinking to yourself, I really want this, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to handle the complexities of some of the more advanced devices, the Genesis 2 is probably going to surprise you. This is the device that is going to be our new entry-level machine for most people, and in many cases, it's not going to be needed to be upgraded down the line because it has the features that 99% of people are going to need to resolve their pain. So a powerhouse little machine. I'm very, very pleased that it is now out and available. And I know we had a few delays in the production process and the shipping process with the strike here in Canada. But with that out of the way now, and with things returning to normal, almost everyone has these. And probably by the time that tomorrow dawns on us, it's all going to be sorted and everyone's will be out there because there's not too many outstanding. So feel free, if you're looking at grabbing one of these, to go ahead and grab one while you can. If you have any questions, reach out to our support team and, of course, your treatment coordinator if you are already working with one of those, because one of the treatment coordinators will be able to answer your questions about this as well. So thank you, everyone, for joining me. I'm really excited for what 2025 has to offer. I can't believe we're here already. I don't know where 2024 went, but I'm looking forward to helping you all on this journey to resolve your chronic pain, to resolve your disease. This is the year for many, many people. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.